Thank you, everyone, for being here. This is very exciting for me. You're the inaugural first group to ever get training or, to experience as a group, as practitioners or as people in business, the Quantum Freedom Formula. And so for the last 12 months, I've been testing this, like it came through to me. It's like, can this really work? Can it be so simple, really, to shift patterns that have been there for such a long time? And, when you see this process, you will see pieces in it that you understand. As practitioners, as people who've worked in different ways or done training in intuition or in any other modality. So what I want to do today is take you through that to give you a personal experience so that you can actually get a sense of, for you, how does this work for you, and then potentially how might it work for your clients if that's something that interests you. Today, it's all about you, and I'm going to take you through the process for something that's about visibility for you. So what that means is you thinking about something that's fairly specific about what's going on for you that you feel resistance around, or hesitation, or procrastination, or something that's just not working. Like the outside world will often show us what's going on the inside. Like when the outside world is showing us things that aren't going the way that we think we want, or things that, like, particularly when you're showing up as a leader, because I know that's what all of you are, and I know you're being called to do more. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here right now, because this is the energy of this group. You are leaders in whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're planning. You're being called to step up in some way, to take on new thought leadership, to be seen in a different way, to put yourself out there in a different way. Maybe it's a different program. Maybe it's just a bigger sense of you. And whenever we try to contemplate that, whether it's because we're changing what we're doing, which is a change in identity, or, whether it is something about being seen that really triggers you, whether it is, it's going to get rid of this thing. I don't even know why I thought I got rid of it. Okay. And doesn't matter whether it's because you need to be seen in a bigger way, whether it's because you're going to say something that you're worried about what other people will think. Maybe you've got some new thought leadership you want to put out there. There are things that suddenly your nervous system will indicate something doesn't feel comfortable. So you might you can get physical symptoms, you could get emotional things, you might just feel a general sense of discomfort. I don't know how to really handle this. It doesn't feel right. And what I want to do with you today is show you how you can identify, like pinpoint, using your intuition. This is the key thing. Using your intuition to pinpoint the patterns which are unconscious to you that are linked to why this is uncomfortable. And usually what happens is our brain finds a reason why this is not comfortable. Our brain goes, well, it's because I don't want to do this because I'm worried about what people think. I don't want to do this because I just don't feel ready. Maybe I should do some more training first. Or I don't want to put this new course out there because, well, people haven't got money. Or we find a reason to explain why we feel like we feel. And sometimes it can be true, but a lot of times what's actually behind it are other unconscious patterns, and they are things we've experienced in the past, this life, and also across others. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about and show you how to do this as well. That there are a lot of patterns that we don't actually realize are connected. And the principle that we're working on here, so that's what we're doing today, is I'm going to tell you some of the principles, because you are people who understand. I'm going to give you some of the insights behind why the process is as it is, right? Rather than just do it as a client. I'll give you a few tips along the way. Not too many, because I don't want you to be overwhelmed. But one of the principles here is that everything that we have ever experienced, felt, thought, experience that's been passed down to us, everything is still in our field. Everything is still there. That's why people can remember a past life. That's why, we can remember other things. And there are ones that are really charged. What I mean by charged is energetically charged. Now they're just frequencies, right? They're just frequencies in the field. And they can be charged with emotion, charged because they were significant times when you first experienced things. So I know that you know a lot about this already. So it's familiar. This concept's probably quite familiar to you. So those experiences are still there, and it's your intuition that can help you pinpoint them. In the quantum field, like in every cell, all this, and think about how many that is across every lifetime, across every existence, across every parallel universe, every right, like the mind, right, Lee, the mind boggles. Everything is still there, and in that massive information, it is your intuition that can pinpoint. When I have this stuff comes up, and I'll show you what the levels are. It goes, there's 3 levels here, and it's that one, and that one. Like that's why this is for you really important to understand. This is an evolution of what your intuition can do. Because like my background is kinesiology, and I know for some of you it is as well, is I can muscle test, but yes, no, it's so slow. Yes, no, this, that, it's so slow, right? It's still really useful. I still use it. I'm not saying it's not useful or important. I'm saying for this type of thing, this is what makes it so much faster. And the reason why it's important for you is because you already understand intuition and what it can do. And I'm going to take you through this. I'll give you a few tips along the way, to keep you strong in, maintaining your energy and how to do that, how to stay in your focus with it. But that's what makes this so important, is because you, and therefore you can show your clients how to do this. And so this is like hands off. This is like there's no tools required except your own intuition. And if you're working with someone else, they need you a little bit to help them with it, right? Because not everybody has the experience that you might. So today, that's what I'm going to take you through, and I want it to be something specific for you. So I want you to think about something that you are experiencing, something that you're wanting to be doing, something that you want to create, something you want to put yourself out there for. Like, what is it? What is that thing? And I want you to notice and find, just notice in yourself, and then I'll take you through this shortly. It's important to get a little bit specific here. So if you say, well, I'm just going to put myself out there, it's a little bit too general. What is it that you want to be doing? Or what is it that if something is not showing up, so maybe it's not enough clients, maybe you just got stuck somehow, maybe it's that you want to start something new, but that's like feeling uncomfortable or you're hesitating about it. I know that's definitely one many of us experience. Or what you find yourself doing is procrastinating with something, or going off and doing something else and getting distracted, right? Because there's something within you, it's something you really want to be doing, or wanting to have happen, but for some reason it's not. So when you just notice that, because when we get to it, being specific about it helps you really nail the before picture, because we're going to do like a before snapshot so that you'll know afterwards what has changed and by how much. And that's why this is really important. And this, I speak as a practitioner tip, is often when we're using energetic processes, sometimes it's hard to quantify afterwards. Sometimes it's hard to know, did something change? And having worked in this field myself for 25 years, I know that it's one of the things that clients can struggle with. It's like, how do I know something's changed? Or something you sort of know, but does it last? I can't really tell. That's why this one has a before picture we're going to do. You're going to figure it out. I'll show you how to do that in a sec. So that's what today is about. Have you all got something that you can work with that you think? Yeah? Yep. Yes? Soka? Yeah? All right. Now, I think we're ready to go. A couple of tips before we start. One, if you get performance anxiety, like, oh, I've got to do this right, right? That's one of the things. That's one of the things most of us get. It's like, oh, like, what if I do this wrong? Look, it's it's normal to have that. The thing that you need to remember is when you can't actually do it wrong, you got to trust first of all. You just got to say, I'm open to doing this, and curiosity and the approach of saying, okay, this is fun. I'm interested. I'm curious about what's going to happen. Your energy, like do that right now, even in your own head. Your energy relaxes and it expands. So remember, it's like being like a kid and going. Remember that, like when you were a kid and you go, oh, this is fun, and you didn't like care. You just went, okay, I'm going to do this. That's the feeling. That's the approach. So first of all, that helps you stay out of your head and it helps your energy relax. Because as soon as you start doing, I've got to do it right, I've got to do it right, your energy contracts and you fall back up here again, which is okay because we all do it. But that's one is take that approach. The second thing is whenever you feel stuck, whenever you feel like I'm not getting anything, water, have a drink of water. And so without going into the ins and outs, water is about flow. It's the energy of flow. There are so many reasons why water is so important. So anytime you feel stuck, just have a sip of water or take a breath. You'll find the energy starts to flow again. The other thing that sometimes happens is people might say, I feel like I'm making this up. Right? That's really common. And it always feels like you're making it up. That's how it feels. But the thing is, here's the key bit. We say, I feel like I'm making it up. Because what we're doing is we're tracking for a feeling for how do I know. And in this place, usually the not knowing and being in neutral is what you want to feel. Right? Because that means you're not in your head. Right? So the not knowing and just going, okay, whatever, not knowing and like being in neutral so that you're not either way. Now, I know many of you will have checking mechanisms for intuition. Often it's a gut feel. You might check with your gut, right? Perfect. You can do that too. I'll show you another way you can check. But it's when you start having the thoughts like I'm making it up, just go, oh, good. Right? Because it does feel like that. Right? Because even that's how I feel. I feel like, did that just drop in, that thought? Like that's how it happens. That's how it works. And so sometimes you have a thought that drops in. You might have a sense of an emotion. You might have something you see, something you hear, something you might even taste and smell. So everybody's different. And I know that you're already people who've worked with your intuition. So however you do it is your way. But these are the things that might help along the way. Okay, so we're going to do a setup first. And the setup, I'll show you how I call it the setup. And the setup is just what I use in order to ensure that I'm tuned in. So that's what we're going to do first. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to sort of combine a couple of them. One of them uses words and the frequency of words. And the other one's we're just going to do a bit of heaven and earth breathing. And then I'll show you the words. It's pretty straightforward. And your job is just to notice the frequency of the words, how they affect you, the meaning, the feeling, whatever. That's enough to connect you in. All right? Ready? Ready to rock and roll? Any questions? Okay, great. All right. Let's start by taking a breath. And nice, long breath in and long breath out is the important one. And then bring your awareness to the top of your head and imagine opening your crown energy like a big funnel up into the universe. And then breathe in the energy of the heavens. Breathe it in, down into your body, through your body, taking any old energies or anything with it you don't need. And breathe out and send the energy down into the center of the earth. Where you'll notice there's an energy, it's a crystalline energy of a certain color. Breathe in that grounding color and energy up through your feet, up through your body, and breathe it out, send it up into the cosmos. And again, breathe in the energy of the heavens. Send it down to the earth. And then breathe in the grounding energy of the earth. Send it up into the skies. And then just take a moment to notice your heart. If you like, you can put your hand. Just notice your heart energy. Breathe into your heart. And now, in your mind or out loud, where you are, whatever you prefer, say, I am now empowered and enlightened, connected and grounded, in full faith and trust, unattached to the result, open and curious. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then take another breath. Just let the energy run. And then where you are right now, you're going to check that you are tuned in. So here's a question that you can ask of your knowing, your intuition. Am I fully connected? So like 100%. Yes or no, whatever comes to your mind first. If you are no, have another drink. And then check again. Yes, no. If you're no, take another breath, the long breath out. And then check again. Hand up anyone who's still a no. Okay, great. Good job. While you're here, I want you to notice who your divine connection is today. What's the name? Is it God, the universe, love, energy, source, the kitchen sink? Is it the name of someone you know, right? Just notice who is your divine connection. You can ask them to step forward or just notice who appears. And then write that down. All right. So now you're connected in. I'm going to start first with where you are now. So here's what I want you to write down. I want you to think about first. I want you to notice when you think about the thing that is that you want to be, to do, to create, to have happen, and where you feel. I want you to notice what you feel first. What happens in your body? Is it like resistance? Is it an emotion? I want you to notice what emotion. So if you first notice like discomfort, what's under the discomfort? Or what's under that resistance? Or what's under that sense of something that your body does? I want you to write down, what is it you actually feel about it? Is it fear, worry, frustration? See if you can name 2 or 3 emotions. So what you're doing really here is acknowledging what's present. And when you've got those emotions, I want you to give them a rating out of 10 for how much charge do they have. So it's your own rating. So out of 10, is it really strong? Each one, is it like a 10? Is it a 5? And I want you to make sure you ask me if there's anything that you can't do where you go, I'm not sure about this, all right? I'm curious about your feedback as well. Right, so feel free to ask as we go along. And when we have emotions, feelings, there are always thoughts associated with them. They go together. You can't have emotion that doesn't have thought. We more notice our emotion than our thoughts, right? Usually what we notice is our feelings. But there are always thoughts attached to them. It's just that we're less aware of them. So I want you to use this process. This is so you can get a clear picture of where you are now. Ask yourself this. So when I'm feeling, let's say I'm going to use frustrated. When I'm feeling frustrated, what am I saying to myself? What am I telling myself? And start your sentence with, I feel frustrated when, or because, or I feel frustrated. Finish the sentence, like what's connected to that feeling? I'm worried that, or and I'm not going to ask you to share these, by the way. I'll ask you to re-rate them, but you don't need to share them. And what I want you to notice as well, for each of those thoughts, which ones have the most energy, which ones have the most charge. So give each one a rating out of 10 again. Some of them might be high. You're looking for ones that are sort of, 8 or 9 if you've got one, because they're the ones that obviously have the most energy around them. No, can I get you to give me a wave if you've got something, you've been able to find a few things that have got a lot of charge? Yeah, good job, well done. Okay, that's what we want. That's all we need to know. We're not going to do anything with that now. We're just going to come back. We're going to come back to it later. And what I'm hoping that you'll see is that those things will drop down in charge. But not only that, it won't come back. And this is the piece that I have been testing over the last 12 months, because often when I work with people in the past, things will change. But I have found also in the past that the same thing can recur, the same, like, the energy. But this time I've noticed when I go back and I ask someone, go back to those specific thoughts and tell me, have they come back? Is the charge still there? No. There might be another thing as a process, right? You're actually moving through clearing things out of the way as you're going, right? And sometimes it's massive. Sometimes it's gradual because, and this is a practitioner understanding, the body can only handle a certain amount at a time, the physical body. Like we're working at the energetic, we're working at the quantum level here. And when things change in the quantum field, it can restructure itself in all kinds of ways, both physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and it can. I trust now that your intuition is intelligent. You're right. The field is intelligent, and it will only give you the things that you can handle. That also, at every level, that's only how much you can do today. All right, so that's really important because we can think, well, one thing, like you got a massive change. Other times you might get a whole lot of things, right? And I just trust that that's what's actually happening here. Because I have seen some people who've had massive shifts, massive, and it took her 3 weeks to get over it. Like she was so tired, right? And I think that showed me to trust. Like obviously it was right for her, right? But it shows me how we don't realize how much impact that can have at the physical level, and it takes a while, can take a while for it to come through and to process. All right. So, all right, now we're going to move on to, you're going to be asking your guidance for the information here, right? So you don't have to do anything except ask and receive. Ask the questions, send it out, let it go. You want to think of it, I think of it that way. It's not really out there, it's in deep, but I think of it as out there. Send it out, let it go, and let the answer pop into your mind. Let it come in and trust what you get, right? And once again, drink water if you find that you feel stuck. Okay, what we are going to do now is we're going to ask your guidance some questions. We're going to find out how many levels of frequency are involved. I'll show you those in a second. And then we're going to ask your guidance to actually give you what is that particular memory? What is that particular thing about? So that you have the information. And for me, I think of it like this. This is a practitioner thing. I think of it like an egg. You know, it's to me, when I look at it, it's like there's this contained energy, right? It's like it's got the charge in there. And when you put your awareness on it, so that's why it's you, or if you're working with someone, it's the client, not us as a practitioner that does this. It's really important that it's your awareness, because observation is everything, right? That's the physics, right? The observer effect changes. When you put your awareness on it, it's like it opens the energy. And when you see what it is in there, that's part of the process. That's part of the important bit here, is that it's you and your energy that's doing it, your focus. All right. Now, I'm going to show you what comes next. This is all right, let's do it first and then I'll show you. Okay. First question to your guidance is, trust me, you don't have to always know all the information, but I'll show you what it is. There are 9 levels that we're working with. If you've done kinesiology or you had any experience in energy world, we talk about the physical, emotional, spiritual, there are different levels. Often you think of them as in the aura. What I was shown is it's not aura, it's much bigger than that, although some of it is like in the aura, but these are like frequency levels where memories are held, like a radio station, it's a frequency band. And these memories, experiences, things that have been passed down are held at certain frequency levels, and there are 9 of them. So today, I want you to ask your guidance, today, how many levels of the 9 am I working with? So how many will I be sort of pinpointing out of 9? So all you want is a number. So how many today? There might be more, but how many today? So just ask your guidance, send the question out, and what number do you get? Write that down. Close your eyes. So how many levels out of the 9? And a number between 1 and 9 will occur to you. Write that down. And today, we're probably going to have time to do 3. So if you've got more than 3, in a moment, you're going to be asking your guidance for the top 3. You'll have this video, and I trust that they'll be the 3 that you need to get enough change and shift today that you'll be able to tell that something is different. If you've got less than 3, no problem. But if it's more than that, you'll be able to do the others later. Now I want you to ask your guidance, of the 9, which numbers are they? Is it 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 7, 4, 6, 8? If you've got more than 3, you can get all the numbers. All right, now I'm going to show you what those numbers mean. Just find, how do we do that again? All right, Okay, can you see that? Can you see the frequency levels? Yes? Yep, great. Okay. So, oops, sorry. Dur, dur, dur. Uh, I lost it. Come back. I'll have to do it again. Right. I can't see why it's not working. Why is it not working properly? It says I'm showing. What can you see at the moment? Someone put your mic on and tell me.
Black screen.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Thanks.
You're also sharing the Zoom
Yeah,
pictures. So we're up. We've got
I can
on
see
the
that
side.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that too. It's weird. All right, let me go back to this one. All right, let me try that again. What is going on here? Let me do it this way. All right, there we go. How's that?
Beautiful.
Okay, so here's what I was shown, the frequency bands, the frequency levels. You'll recognize some of these, but there's a couple that I had no idea, that I went, what is that? So physical, that's obviously the most dense vibration. Energetic, that's the etheric layer around the body. Emotional is where there's a pattern. So this is where the patterns exist, if we were to look at them as frequency. So, you know, some frequencies vibrating faster and some slower. Emotional, there's a family. Now, if you get, oh, I forgot experience, I spelt that wrong. If you get a family pattern, what that means is that you will be shown an experience that either you've had in your family or that's been passed down, like a belief or some sort of story in the family. So the physical, energetic, and emotional, these are going to be things you have experienced in your life. Same as some of the others, but family, what might happen if you have at number 4 is that when you ask your guidance, someone else might show up in your awareness, or an experience that you were involved in with your family, that you might notice this is not just something you learned to believe or that you were taught. It came down and you still have that now. And that's what's getting, one of the things that's getting in the way is that belief or that story that everybody told. So the spiritual one means it has a spiritual significance. Now, 6 is that it's around your DNA. And you know that, so epigenetics is where your gene is altered by experience or environment. And that might, if you have number 6 and you ask your guidance, what's the pattern here? Show me what it is that I need to know. Somebody else may show up first. Most likely, it will be someone in one of your family lines, and you will see some experience that they had that altered your genetic patterns. It's an epigenetic hand-me-down. And so that your job will be to notice, and what did they experience? And what did they feel? And what did they decide about the world? Because somewhere in there, in the experience they had, you now have an epigenetic or genetic component story. There's a story attached to it. All right. And you want to be able to open that up and just make it relevant to you and understand how that might be impacting what you're now experiencing. And so when I do this is practitioner information. I would not normally show this to my client. I would just ask them what level, and I would guide them through each one. All right. So this is not, I wouldn't normally go through this. Soul awareness is it's usually some sort of experience that links to why you came here. A fractal pattern. These are the two. The next two are the ones that I went, what? So a fractal pattern is where a pattern has been occurring across multiple dimensions. In other words, across multiple lifetimes. So, for example, it's a much bigger pattern. It's not a personal experience, although it is something that you're still carrying. For example, one of mine was starvation. So that's what a fractal pattern is. It's a bigger thing. So it might be, loneliness. It might be, I don't know. It's the fractal one is a much bigger concept. And so what will come to you when you ask your guides, what's this fractal? It's something that's occurred across different lifetimes in different ways. And so when I looked at that fractal pattern, I thought, well, what's that got to do with what I'm experiencing now? It's got to do with not enoughness, not enough food, right? Or why I might have certain behaviours that I don't know how I have, not being able to throw things out, or there's this sort of a sense of like I can understand if I have already this pattern within me. And I saw when I did this one that I saw myself dying in a prison. I saw myself dying like of starvation. I saw myself like an African dying, of starvation. I suddenly saw this going across different lifetimes, and having different experiences of the same thing. The last one, parallel world. If anyone got number 9, I can't actually see, but I'll come back to you in a minute. A parallel world story or pattern is where you have experienced. There's a parallel world on which you have had an experience that you still recall. Right, so that is the most unusual one. I'm just going to come back in. That one there is really new. It's fairly new, that one. Like I've only had that number 9 for about 4 months. And so that's a really interesting one. Someone said, who did it, said, this is like not even a world that I recognize. It's kind of this abstract lines and things. So this is where you allow your creativity and you receiving whatever it is that you receive, and ask yourself, what am I feeling? What am I noticing about this? So all of these are about what do you notice, and keeping on asking the question, what am I noticing? What is this story about? What is this person feeling? What are they deciding at this minute? Even when you have a story that's about yourself. So you might go, I'm getting age 3. And you ask your guidance, what am I noticing? And a certain story comes to you that you may or may not recall. You may have been told about it. You may remember it. That your job is to notice, how is your 3-year-old feeling? Like, look from the outside. That's one of the tips. So that's one of the things I will ask and remind you about. And it's one of the things that I use as a practitioner. So I won't overload you with that, but that's what, and you can ask me again if you need to see this again. And I'll show it. I can explain it for you again. All right. On set. Yeah. Someone came in. I think Susie came in. Sec. Let her in. All right. So they're the levels. And any questions about that at this point? All right. So have you got the levels written down, the ones that you need? Yeah? Okay, good job. All right. Now we're going to move on.
I will ask a question if that's all right.
Yes.
So when I got it, I actually got numbers randomly, like not in order, like 1, 2, 3 or anything else.
Yep.
And I was guided that they become the priority, like it's also in rank order of priority. So even though it's out of sync.
Perfect.
Okay. Cool.
Perfect. Exactly. Good job.
All right.
Hey, Susie. Sorry you're a bit late. We've started already, but you have done this before, so you kind of know where we're up to. Okay, now, here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to take you through how to do your first one, what questions to ask, and then I'm going to give you some time to do the other two. All right? So here's what you're going to do. Close your eyes, connect in with your guidance, whoever it is you're working with. And if it's appropriate, the first question you can ask to make it easy is, how old was I? If you're working with an epigenetic one, you'll be asking, who am I noticing? If you're working with parallel world, you'll be same thing. You'll be asking a different question. So this is where it gets a bit tricky working with everyone with different things. But I've explained it to you, or let me know if I'm not explaining it well. Hey, Susie. Good to see you. All right.
Sorry, am I late?
Yeah. Yeah, we started at 10 Sydney time.
I read it wrong. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I'm sorry.
Australian Eastern Time it said. Anyway, sorry.
Daylight time. Yeah. So, daylight time it should have been. Anyway, sorry if it was me. Well, we'll take it from here. Where we're up to is just, can you, what's the best way to do this? You know what you're working with, yeah? Write down how you feel about what's going on and a couple of thoughts that have got a lot of charge around them. So whatever it is that you're struggling, what's the strongest emotions, and a couple of thoughts that link with those so that you've got a before picture. I'll just give you that piece. Everyone else asking, how old was I? And then once you've got the how old, ask your guidance to show you so that you can know or see or understand what's the memory from that age. Write down what the experience was. And I want you to look from the outside at how old you were and how, when you look at yourself at that age, what were you feeling? What did you decide about yourself or about the situation or about how you needed to handle this? Let the story continue so that you can get some insight. And Susie, so you've got your emotion and a few thoughts written down, and just rank them out of 10. How strong is the emotion? How strong are those thoughts? So there'd be things like, I'm worried because, or I'm anxious about because, and those thoughts, and then just give the feelings and the thoughts a ranking out of 10. And then just take a breath and tune in Just get connected. Has anyone got a question about the tuning in or about their memory, or one that I could, if you're struggling with it or not sure where to go with it, that I could help and use as a demonstration for you, for everyone? We're all good.
I have a question.
Yeah, thanks, Deb.
With regards to this, what just come up, is it supposed to have something to do with the numbers that just came up, or is this independent?
Oh, good question. Good question. So with the levels, sorry, I forgot to say that with what happened. With the levels, you don't need, here's what I want you to know. You don't really need to know what it means about those levels. It gives your brain something to do, because your brain needs something to understand here. But actually, it doesn't matter that much. If you want to, it's more about that gives it gives intention and focus for your brain and also for your energy. But it doesn't matter what the level is. So, for example, was it spiritual? You don't have to know what the spiritual message is. If it's emotional, if it's family, you don't have to. What you need to know is, what's the story that I'm seeing? And what am I noticing here that I'm beginning to get the sense of understanding what was decided at this moment is really important. When this thing happened, this is a significant charged moment because there's some strong emotion. There's some strong emotion around it. And so it's stayed in your field with a red flag on it going, anytime there's something similar to this, I'm going to throw up that this is not safe. I'm going to keep this person safe by giving them something. I'm going to switch you off a bit. I'm going to give you some signals, some emotions, whatever that will divert you away and keep you safe. Does that make sense?
Yes, very much so.
Okay, great. So what you're seeing is something that is there for a really important reason, for safety and protection. That your consciousness thinks, your energy thinks this is important, except doesn't realize you're not that age anymore. Right? You actually are able to handle it now, right? But it doesn't, allow the field has no sense of time. The field is just everything all there. So that's why this is so important. So if you can notice, sometimes someone will get like 3-year-old self coming up. I was talking to someone recently who she's wanted to put herself out there at work and do some extra things. And the 3-year-old had a whole bunch of older siblings, and whenever she remembered being 3, and she was felt like, I have to just be quiet. I'm not allowed to shine here because everyone's older and everyone's telling her to stop talking and quieten down because they're all older. They're not interested in what she's got to say, right? And it's not true that she's not allowed to shine, but that was the experience. It was not safe because you get told or you get hit or you get, you get disapproved of. All right. So now when she wants to shine now and go bigger and her energy bigger and be seen, the 3-year-old goes, no, not safe. Right. But that's the story. But really what it is a frequency charge. And what we're going to do is clear that charge. We're going to transform it like that in a moment. Does that help? Make sense?
It makes complete sense because what came up for me was mind-blowing.
Okay, great. Good job, Deb. Thank you to your guidance for showing you that.
Yes, thank you.
So brilliant. Lee.
Jen, is it okay that you see no link between
Yes,
what's
it
come
is
up?
okay.
Yeah.
There will be one.
Yeah.
Do you want me to ask you some questions with that? It is okay not to see a link though, yes.
Yeah, okay. And I just let that go?
You can. Do you want me to demo what I would do if we don't have to?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so do you mind if I ask what showed up? What kind of story?
It was a memory as a little kid being at friends of mum and dad's, and I used to make it into a game every time the guy would go and get an armload of wood. Obviously he's got no hands, and I would be the gate opener, and then I'd slam the gate and just piss myself laughing, thinking it was absolutely hilarious that he's there standing there with wood.
Yep.
But it was a real fun, filled with joy, laughter time. But I don't see the significance of how that's linked to me feeling comfortable with being seen online.
It's a good question. So when you used to do that, he was like inside or outside the gate, like you were stopping him from coming in, or
Stopping him from coming in.
okay.
Yes.
And
So out to the woodshed, coming into the home yard.
yeah, okay. And so is there any more to that story? Is there anything else?
No, that's all that came to it. Yeah.
What I notice is the enormous amount of laughter. What I noticed when you told that story is how much energy that had around fun, laughter, being able freedom to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be interested to see what your other stories are, but I get the sense, and I don't know why, I get the sense that you might be being shown that because for some reason you're not accessing that anymore right now. Right, there's something around that you're being shown. Yeah. So it's not that it's a problem, but it's also showing you that there's something about that to shift around, that to shift, to allow you to have that be free to experience that again. That's why it's called the quantum freedom formula, is because it's freedom from and freedom to.
Freedom from.
And I think yours is freedom to here.
Yeah.
To feel those things again, to have that energy, because something about. So anyway, we'll see, right?
Okay, thank you.
So that's a really good example, and that doesn't very often happen. So good. Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else want to ask anything? All right. Now I want you to go and do the other two if you haven't already. Yeah? Have you done them already, by the way? Hand up if you have. I need to get, so I'll give you like at least 5 minutes, right, to do your other two stories. So again, you go back to your guidance and you ask, if it's relevant, you ask, how old was I? That's the easiest way to go in. But if you don't get a number, it means that there's another question. So if someone said to me, I'm not getting a number, I would ask, so I want you to notice who's showing up then, or what are you feeling? Like what, because maybe a memory will just come first. Maybe it's not about how old you were. It's just something that your guidance will take you exactly where you need to go. Remember, drink water if it's slowing down.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
With this one, I got the number 9, so I'm looking at a parallel something.
Yes. I'll be curious to know what you get.
Do I ask a different question, or do I just ask the same questions? And
it's pretty much the same question. If I were doing that with you, I'd just ask, okay, so just realize that this is not an experience that you will remember as such. All right. So this is kind of a creative memory. So you really are relying on it and just trusting that something will occur to you. You may not know what this world is about or where it is, but there's some experience, something that's been experienced on this world that is still with you. It's still a charge. So when I'm doing that, I'll just say, just sit with it and notice what comes to you. Do you notice, is it a visual that comes first? Is it a feeling that comes first? And it's like follow the daisy chain, and you make those chains with little daisies on. Just follow, go, okay, and what's next? Ask your guides, and what's the next? Keep going and go, okay, show me the next thing. I find sometimes I have to sit with it, and it's a bit like, because what your intuition is interpreting through your body these messages that are still frequency. So sometimes it can take a bit longer. Some people get it really fast. If you're really visual, you might just get it all at once. I'm a bit of a body processor, so it takes me a little longer. Does that help?
Yep.
All right, so just trust what you get. Sometimes people say, like someone said, I just get this like things, and I asked her, what does it feel like? What's the feeling there? And maybe some other story. And this is where this parallel world one is really where you'll go, I feel like I'm making it up. Right? That's really where you'll feel like I'm making it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you don't have anything at all to relate to it. So trust yourself in that. Kristen, were you going to ask something?
I was just going to clarify. So basically, the first question we asked was in relation to the first level, and then
Yes.
we're asking again for the next two. That's
correct.
we're actually setting the intention for that level, whatever.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You got it. Susie, do you want me to show you the levels? Because you just missed that bit when you came in. What would you like to do? Not sure? Yeah. Hey, yeah. So I'm just talking to Susie. You others carry on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Susie, close your eyes. Take a breath. Breathe in from the heavens, breathe down into the earth. Breathe up from the earth, send it up into the heavens. Hand on heart, connect to heart energy. And now I'm just going to say, I want you to trust this. Activate the setup. That's all you need to do. Activate the setup. And what that means is intelligence of your intuition will just run the thing that needs to be run that connects you in. Activate the setup, let the energy run. Check in that you are ready to go. Yes or no? If no, have a drink of water. Check in again. Ready to go? Yes or no? If no, take another breath. I want you to notice who your connection is. God, the universe, source, love, someone. Okay. All right. I'll catch up with you. I'll catch up with you later and check in. Okay. All right. Who needs more time? Just give me a wave. Need more time? Okay, carry on. Does anyone else have a story they want to need help with? Let me know if you do.
Jen, I'll run something by you.
Yep. Okay.
So I got, and this is the whole, yeah, you got to trust thing. So I got this visual, like it wasn't an age, it's just an always. So it's just
Mhm.
always there. And it wasn't really a feeling to begin with. And the picture I got was, like, you know, the molecules on the atom structures, that the bars with the circles on them when you're doing science, which wasn't my strong subject, but
Yes.
so I got this sort of visual of one of those, and it was literally just bouncing around the place, going back and forth and stuff. So I just asked what it was about, and I got that it was touching the lives of others. So it was like a need, like I was sort of bouncing around, and the need to mother and help was the thing.
What level are we talking?
We're talking 8, so fractal.
Ah. Aha.
And then there was just this overwhelming sadness that I wasn't doing enough.
Okay. So what you're saying is, throughout different lives, you've had a pattern where you felt that, for whatever reason, in different lives, yeah, brings up something, doesn't it? Which is good. Good. Remember, cry, sigh, yawn. We like that. It's all about energy shifting. So what it shows is that in other lives, when you've wanted to give out and care, there's been a sense of like whatever happened during those lives, it was never enough. Is that what you mean?
No, actually. No, it was sort of yeah, I guess I wasn't doing enough. Like, so that was the like, but I take that as, I wasn't taking action enough. Not that I wasn't offering enough.
I say,
So I wasn't doing it enough times. Rather than I wasn't doing enough in each individual session, it was more that I just wasn't doing enough sessions. And this is about building clients, so.
okay, so tell me about the molecule thing again. Take me back to that.
So it's just like a sort of like the cosmos, I guess. Like it's just black and sort of darkness, and then it's literally just like this structure that's like one of those atoms things. So it's got the bars, and there's blue. So it's just primary colors: blue, red, and yellow. The
Yeah.
balls that are attaching them.
Yep.
And it's sort of like 3D. So it's like I don't even know what to, like a cluster, I guess, but almost soccer ball size. So multiple,
Right.
there's lots of them, and it's just free floating. So it's just sort of, yeah, bouncing through that. It feels like it's, yeah, going through, I guess, like if you look at fractal being multiple dimensions, it's not just in a single space. It's yeah, bouncing.
And within that, what did you notice was the feeling, the story? What did you notice? You said, then I asked about it, and what did you get? Repeat that back to me.
Yeah, so it's just that I wasn't doing enough. It felt like it didn't feel like I was grounded enough was the thing that came up, like that I wasn't that I wasn't staying long enough, that sort of thing. Like it was too quick is what's coming up now.
Okay. So if that were you in other lives, right? I mean, you don't really know. There's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
What pattern would you say? Would you give that when you look at it from a distance and you look at that bouncing around and you get this? Is it like, what is it? Can you give it words to it? Keep talking, keep noticing.
It's sort of like the pattern is the bouncing as well. It's like I'm if I don't stop, I don't have to look, kind of thing. Like it's, I guess, like a running, almost like a running away, I guess, like that sort of bounce around.
Yep.
heightened activity with no actual outcome.
Mhm.
That's what's coming up.
And is there a sense of there's a reason why that keeps bouncing? Is it not comfortable to stay there? Is it that something has happened when the person did stay? That's what I mean. Just stay with it and keep noticing what you notice about it. They're afraid to stay in the spot, afraid to do more.
Yeah, it's sort of cycling back to the other ones of not it's not like safe to show up. So it's sort of the snippets that I'm giving when I'm bouncing around is enough. It's not safe to sort of stay.
Not safe to stay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's what you need to notice. All right, it's not safe to stay. Who knows why? Right.
Yeah.
But if you were to sit with it longer, you might get more information, but you don't necessarily need to. All right. There's this sort of like, for some reason, there's a pattern about it's not safe to stay in the same place too long. For whatever reason, you might have been killed for it. You might have had, who knows why, right? And it could have shown up in all different kinds of ways. But you're looking for what's the essence of the pattern. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Good job. Soccer, did you have something you want to say? I just noticed your mic's on, that's all.
Yeah, the number 9 was interesting.
Okay.
So it was mostly feelings, but I got definite feelings of constriction.
Mm-hmm.
Constriction around the chest, constriction of everything, just tightness in general, particularly along the jaw.
Yep.
But the colours appeared brighter, like almost neon. So background was there was no definite anything. Background was dark, but any colours that came up were kind of like neon stripy things.
Right.
No recognisable shapes except for lines.
And what came with the constriction? Was it sort of?
Yeah.
Is there any more on that, or it was just that feeling mainly?
No, it was just that feeling of almost being paralysed, not being able to move, but equally feeling wired.
Okay, interesting.
It's like everything wanted to move, but it couldn't, so it was really stuck.
Okay. And do you relate to that? Do you relate to that now?
I'm in the middle of attempting to pack a house into 3 bags. So yeah, I feel a lot of that. And I'm just sitting there looking at it going, yeah, it's still, I just need to wave my magic wand and we'll just go in. And of course it's not.
Of course it's not.
Of course it's not. I'm sitting there.
Now we'll work a different magic wand and see if we can,
Yeah.
So it's interesting that that's a pattern that's like whenever that feeling comes up, your energy will switch off.
Yes.
Right,
yes,
you'll switch off and you'll go,
Can't
whereas actual fact you can handle it. It just is there's something about that from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And then the next so that was the middle number, and then the number 4. So the family thing. I was sitting under a lamppost outside in the dark, except the lamppost was on, realizing that my world was disintegrating. So whatever was going on in the family at the time, my whole world was disappearing, and father was absent, and the generations of fathers have been absent. So my father's father was an alcoholic and died young.
Come a bit closer to your computer.
Sorry. My father's father was an alcoholic and died young. My mother's father was away at the war. I don't know my grandfather's.
Yep.
So
So how old were you then?
13.
Yeah. So whatever's going on in your life at the moment, there's something that echo of that, right?
Yeah.
Big change, right? Feeling alone by the sound of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is, if you look at your 13-year-old self, what did she learn? What was her experience? It's better to stay out of all of this. It's better to be on your own. It's better. What did she decide at that point?
It was all very, very conflicted. On the one hand, it was being told, you need to be grown up and independent, and as soon as you did that, then was hauled back again to be subservient and had to hang around and wait.
So you've got a similar thing to what Lee was saying, or about you've got the two parts of you. The 13-year-old experienced, you've got to move forward, you've got to be independent. The other part going, what about my family? Like, how am I supposed to do this? Yeah?
Yeah.
Sound familiar?
Yep.
Yeah. And so that again is a pretty charged story, or a very pivotal moment, right?
Yeah.
For you then, and similar now, that she will try and protect you, that old pattern will try and protect you from even being involved in the experience, which will shut your brain down, switch you off, cause you to divert into something, all that's the same things. So thank you. Perfect. Yeah, she's clearing it already. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Are you done? Hand up if you need more time, or if you've got any question. Okay, good job. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to show you how to how I was shown that is the way to clear these. I won't say clear, that's the wrong word. Transform, because this is the thing. Energy is never lost. It's only ever transformed, right? So we're not clearing it, we're transforming. That's a behind the scenes word that's really important. Okay. There's two parts to this, and it's really simple. And there's reasons for both of them. First, you are going to ask your guidance this question. Can you please transform the energy of all of these patterns across all time, space, dimensions? Can you please transform all of those for me and make them into something beautiful for me? All right, or words to that effect. Doesn't matter what the words are. The idea is, could you please do this for me? And I want you to give it to them. Give them, because remember, here's the behind the scenes story of this. Even people on the other side will say, I need to be asked to help. All right, I need to be, you have free will here. I don't do anything unless you ask. So you need to ask. So that's the first part. The second part is we're going to go into your heart. We're going to do a heart activation, similar to what we did before. And we're going to observe. Same thing again. We're going to be the observer, because that's what changes things. And I'll show you how to do that. First of all, just go and ask your guidance. Can you please transform these energies to me? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Transform them into something beautiful across all space, time, dimension. Won't take long. And then once you've asked, just let it go. Say thank you. Let it go. You don't do anything else at that point. That's it. And now we're going to do a heart activation. You all understand about power of the heart. We understand now the heart energy is the most powerful transformative energy that we have available. And here's a simple way that we're going to do this. Close your eyes, breathe into your heart. If you want, you can put your heart on your hand, your hand on your heart if you want. Breathe into your heart. Focus your awareness there. And as you focus your awareness, allow the energy of your sacred heart area to relax and expand. As you put your attention and as you breathe there, you breathe into your heart, that energy will relax, open, soften. Now I want you to think about someone you feel grateful for in your life, whether it be someone here or someone crossed over. Could be an animal. And in your mind, have a conversation with them and just say, thank you so much for being in my life. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Your heart energy opens and expands and grows. Keep breathing into your heart. And as your heart opens, I want you to imagine that your heart energy is like a chamber. It's like this sacred chamber that you can be within. You can look out from. Maybe there's a comfy chair. Maybe it's like a room. I want you to notice. Maybe you can sit in your chair and you can look out. You might notice this is where your connection to your soul exists. It's where you remember who you really are as love. That you are connected to, part of, and wholly a loving being. A being of love. Sit in that space. Be in that space. Sense that space, however it works best for you. And notice how peaceful it is. Breathe into that. And I want you to notice that you are the observer, that you can notice what your guidance is doing in the transformation of those energies, of those patterns. Just observe. Don't do anything but observe. You might notice something, you might notice nothing, you might just sit in that space. And I want you to stay there until, and really anchored in that space, observing until you sigh, yawn, cry. That's your signal, and stay there until you feel the energy is complete. We're going to have a drink. And take a breath. Now, what you've done is a transformation process. That's how quick that is. Now I'm going to ask you to put something in. I'm going to get you to reprogram your field. And we're going to do that with a little movie. Doesn't take long. I want you to choose. So something will occur to you. I want you to choose anything that this is you being the person you want to be, really feeling the way you want to feel. Like, how is it you want to feel? In the situation that you said when you first started, what is it that you actually want, not what you don't want, right? Is it that you're standing on a stage and speaking? Is it that you've got a new business and it's like running perfectly, wonderfully? Is it that, your calendar is booked out? Is it that, what is it that you really, this is your dream? And remember, you can dream whatever you want, as big as you want. And now you can do it bigger without the other stuff getting in the way. I'm going to give you time. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to be in that situation, in your body, looking through your eyes, in color, like a movie, moving, whatever it is, feeling the way you want to feel, and turn it up as much as you can. All right? Just let yourself be that. Just go for broke. Just go, okay. And just spend some time letting your field know this is your attention. This is you now. You feel the energy, Lexi. You transformation plus going on. Okay, how'd that go? Interesting. All right, I'm going to come back to you and ask you about that in a minute. But now I want you to go back to the start. I want you to go back to the beginning. I want you to look what you wrote down, and I want you to when you go through that again, just check in. How much is it reduced by? And I want to say some things that you wrote down can still be true, but have no charge. Right? Sometimes you can have something that you go, well, that's still true, but I don't feel anything about it. So I want you to just notice what's changed. Think about exactly the same thing as you started with. And you may notice you have access to a different feeling now. Everyone's different, but sometimes you'll notice, I actually feel excited about that now, whereas before I felt anxious. Like I still feel like, oh, well, that's scary, but now I feel kind of scary excited, right? Because what you're looking for is now you have some freedom from what was, and now you have freedom to. You have freedom to feel differently if you want. It's still a choice. You have freedom to think differently about it, right? You're not being driven by what was. And now you have the freedom to. Often you will feel quite neutral, and that is excellent. If you can feel neutral, now you've got a choice about what comes next. Now you've got a choice about how you feel about it. Now you're actually in control of what you choose to feel and do next. And what it might do is open up an opportunity that you go, okay, now I can think more straight about this. Right? Rather than you getting waylaid and stuck at a certain point because of old patterns. And this is where I'm going to ask you to ask your guidance what comes next. Now we need the forward step. And this is, what does your guidance say? So you ask your questions. The last one for your guidance is, what's my most useful, beneficial, helpful next step? And it's one simple thing. It might even be something that helps you ground the energy. It might be drink water for this, more water this week. It might be something, it's going to be something really simple, right? Just ask your guidance and go, okay, one simple thing. What is it? And we've got about 20 minutes left. So what I'd like to do is find out from you, how did that work for you? Give me some feedback. And then I'm just going to take 5 minutes at the end to tell you what my plan is next. There's no selling involved. I'm just going to tell you what the option is. All right. Okay. Now over to you. How'd they get? Like, who had a change in the first? Like the things you wrote down changed. The charge around it changed. Everyone. Awesome. Who had a significant change that you really go, I feel significantly different. Okay, great. Awesome. And some of you less, by the sound of it. Which doesn't mean it wasn't a significant change, by the way. So that's really important as a practitioner. The amount it changes is not how much it actually has changed. What we're looking for is any change. And if you have got some left over, if you had more than 3, you might want to continue and do the rest of those as well later on. All right. Who'd like to share what happened, how it feels now, like what I would love to hear your feedback or any questions you have as well.
I can share, Jen.
Yeah, thanks, Kristen.
Okay, so do you want to know like what we started with? Is that like
whatever? Give us a bit of a picture, and then how that is different for you now.
Okay, so the situation was like not actually fully committing to business. So I've been holistic healing for 20 years plus, from massage to kinesiology to Reiki.
Yep.
And I would consider I've fluffed around, I guess is the best way to put it. Like I've never really sort of run it as a business, whether that's because I just didn't want to pay tax or whatever, who knows, but it's never really been productive. But then, so the aim was to not treat it like a hobby anymore and actually own it. On writing that, I wrote a statement which I just called bullshit on, but I wrote a statement, maybe part of me just wants to be a housewife. Like, I don't actually want to work. I want to be this princess in the castle kind of thing. But after we did the whole thing, I came back to it and it was like, okay, what's your comment on that now? And it's like, okay, I call bullshit. So apparently I don't want to just be a housewife.
That was the brain going, oh, I just want to be a housewife. That's what it is. Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason I feel like this.
Housewife. I mean, you can't fuck up the dishes, can you? Excuse my friend. But so the emotions that came up around that and the blocks, I guess, was feeling stupid, being scared, looking bad, and that in the ages and stuff, it came up that the main one, which was the energetic layer around the body, which I suppose for me that feels like, I'm constricted. So if that energy's off, then obviously moving forward is, hard. But I apparently, like, the vision I got was like I was tripping and falling or whatever, and there was people laughing, but it was dark, and I just felt belittled and not protected, and embarrassed and shrinking. So the statement out of that one was, it's not safe to try.
Wow.
The other, so the other, all three statements are, it's not safe. So it's not safe to try. The other one that came out was, it's not safe to command attention. And the other one that came out from the Adam one was, it's not safe to stay in the same place at a long time. So so then my emotions were 10 10 10 prior, on feeling stupid, scared and looking bad, and feeling stupid's at about a 2. I think there's obviously more other stuff to work on that, but being scared or fearful around it is probably a 1, and I don't feel like I need to do anything else that'll shift, like continue to cook. And then the looking bad and bad reviews is just a 0, so I'm sort of like, whatever. So hit me with your best shot.
Wow.
So anyway,
that's awesome. Good job.
Yes. So
good job. Well done. That's freedom.
Yeah.
That is what you call freedom. So now the field is open.
Yes. So I've set some intentions on what it looks like in the future that I want to do, and then we'll
fantastic.
See how that plays out.
Okay, awesome. And that's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to check on the same things that you wrote down over the next week or so.
Yep.
See if they change. I want you to check and let me know. I'll be asking you. All right.
No worries.
Thank you. That's fantastic. I'm so pleased for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Kristen.
Jen, I can share a little bit if you'd like.
Yeah, thanks, Lee.
When we had to choose numbers, 9, how many issues?
Yep.
Old greedy me said 9. So I'm like, oh, jeez. So I just reframed the question and I said, okay, give me the top 3 that I work on today.
Exactly. Well done.
And so I ended up with 2, 3, and 6. And ultimately my issue was reluctance to put myself on social media. So whether it's a photo, whether it's a video, I really struggle with that. I struggle being seen from the perspective of loss of privacy, stalker energy kind of things going on there. Anyway, so worked through the 2 was the little kid with the game and the person carrying the wood, no idea there. And then 3 was Oh, I'd been singled out as a kid in a classroom situation where if we got our spelling words wrong, we had to stand up and you had to go over there with the other kids who got it wrong, and then you all had to practice to get it right.
Yep.
And normally I was a really good speller, so that was I didn't like standing out or being.
Oh yeah, and everybody looking at you, feeling humiliated.
Yep, that's it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
big one.
And then the sixth one was a really interesting one because this brought up my grandmother and my great grandmother, very strong women, could be quite dominating and bossy, which I often get called by a certain husband. And but what they would do is they would retreat to bed when it was almost like with a sense of superiority that they wanted to retreat to bed. They would have their bell beside them and they would ring it for someone to come and,
Yep.
give them cuppa or whatever. And but in their sense of superiority physically, they're actually quite old and frumpy to look at. So I don't know where that one was going, but certainly old and frumpy is not something that gels with me.
No.
And they could be quite dogmatic and quite cruel to partners, but it was all about wanting to be looked after, sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
Not doing anything. So you might be able to help me out with that. So then what I did, because we had that bit of extra time, I just thought, well, what could I work on next? And I did a number 9,
Yeah. Cool.
which was really interesting. And it just came through like a source of communication. And it was being turned down, so it wasn't to annoy me. And just what came in then, it was just also my intuition being turned down. And wanting a sense of solitude with that. So communication was just too much. The solitary feeling was not wanting to be overwhelmed by people and society, almost like wanting a cabin in the woods. Give me the peace of the cabin in the woods, sort of thing.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
And a longingness for being apart from society, but being at one with nature. So being solitary, but not being lonely.
So you've got quite a few patterns there about pulling back.
Yeah.
Right.
Very much so.
The essential part of it is go to bed. Like if stress happens, withdraw.
Yeah.
Right. If it looks like, even though I might it'd be good because I'll get looked after. That's the good side of it. But just go lie down. And the other one as well is like just pull out.
Yeah.
If there's any chance that like there's people and noise and stuff like that, run for the hills, run for the woods.
Yeah.
Like just go.
Okay.
So, and they're not yours.
Yeah.
But they're protective and trying to keep you safe.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
They're there for a purpose. They're not bad. They're not good or bad. They just are energies, right? But they're ones that have a purpose, and neither of those things is what you need right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Well, when I did the guidance and the reprogramming of the field, it was such a different feeling. It was just really, I can take on mountains sort of thing. I was standing on a stage and there was, a spotlight, and I was very comfortable.
Awesome.
There was no hassle with that whatsoever. Yeah. But when I asked for guidance, they said, don't do a thing this week, Leanne. You can start next week.
Okay, great. Perfect. All right, let it process. Figure out what you're doing next. Yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And did it drop down significantly from the start?
Oh, there was no charge at all.
Nothing at all, no charge.
Nothing at all. It was really, really neutral. Yeah.
Awesome.
So thank you. What an amazing process.
Well done. Good job. Thank you, all your guides.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee. Deb.
Yeah, I just want to say that was really fantastic. I enjoyed it very much. And
Good.
yes, very much so. And I had a lot of great insight. I've wanted to I've been working in childcare for 14 years now. I have my own service here in Sydney, and I love, love, love what we have going on there. And I've expanded it more into a holistic approach. And I've it's been something that I never thought I'd go into, but due a chain of events, I would love to help parents become more aware, because I know that they know it already somewhere inside them, but more aware of how to become completely in tune with what children's needs are. And I've wanted to develop this program for parents, specifically for them. And I've just been so sick, nauseous, like nervous, scared, fearful. I can go into work and I can talk to one of them or all of them, one on one. I feel like that's like a safe space. But as soon as I have this idea that, oh my God, I'm going to put this in a video, or I'm going to talk to people like masses or people who don't know me, I just completely shut down. And it was all around, that those things that I said: fear, scared, judgment, procrastination. They're all like 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10. It was just all up there. And the first level that I got was instant, like couldn't believe it. And it was when I was pregnant with my first child. Um, I was 30, and I just remembered straight away feeling so nervous, so unprepared, so um, just not safe. Like I wasn't sure what was going on. Am I ready for this? Like it just really rocked me. And I'd forgotten all about how I'd felt then. Like it didn't
Yep.
even dawn on me
That it would be connected.
that
No.
it would be connected. And I'm rebirthing. I feel
Yeah,
like I'm
absolutely.
birthing this idea, and
Exactly.
it's coming out of me, and I'm on the platform again. And um, yeah, and so I didn't end up having a vaginal birth. I had to have a cesarean, and there's a part of me that always felt like I didn't do it right. And so that was like me judging myself. And so I thought, oh geez, this is so good. I felt like I'm not safe. I'm not
Yeah.
safe to be an expert, and my body can't do what it's supposed to do. So why would my intuition be able to do it? And then the second level was I got 2 months old in gestation, and it was my grandmother Valentina, like it came from her. So some genetic thing. And when I looked at the level, it actually corresponded to the genetic epigenetic, which was like even blew my mind.
There you go.
And then I got all these downloads from her that the world is not safe, that the world judges harshly, that life is not fair, that a woman's voice is not heard, her opinion is not heard, and it's a man's world. And
Wow.
and I was like, oh my
Can
God,
do without those.
can do without those. Yes, that's for sure. And then the third level, I got stuck because it was like it kept showing me minus 100, and I'm going minus 100. Is it? Am I going? What is this? What does this mean? And then I kept just asking. I connect to oneness, so I just kept asking,
Yeah, good.
"Can you please explain?" And
Good job. Yep.
yep. And then I got that it was when that came through, I was like, oh my goodness, it was like 100 lifetimes. It's like 100 lifetime anniversary for me of
Oh,
like a century of lifetimes of information where I am speaking up about and sharing knowledge and whatever physical body I've been in at the time, I've been persecuted.
yep.
Like it's just this
Yep.
old energy of being persecuted again. But
But
this
that
is
was
the
about
last,
persecution. Yep.
yes.
Okay, great.
So
Was that must have been a fractal, right?
Third
Right.
level. That was
Oh,
number
no, it was emotional.
that was number 3. That was emotional.
Okay.
I don't
Doesn't
know.
matter. Doesn't matter.
I don't know your levels very well. So I just asked oneness,
Yeah,
show
it
me
doesn't matter.
first level, second level, third level. And then I had time to do fourth level while there was,
Okay, good.
thanks to the lovely lady who came in late.
Oh, yes, listen. Yeah.
I had time to do that one, and that was all about not 5 years old and frustrated, not being understood. It's safer to be on my own and to not completely, share myself because people don't understand.
Yeah, right. Wow.
And that was great. And then everything dropped down to zeros after.
Wow.
It
Good
was
job.
incredible. I
I
loved
know,
it.
right? I go, really?
Yeah, it's so
Can
good.
can it be that simple?
I
That's
know
why
it's
you can understand why I was going, can it be that simple? Surely no. It can't be, right? I know. So your job is going to be now. So what are you doing next? What's your next step?
My next step, you mean like the next, it just said to me to wake up every morning and just the first words I speak is thank you.
Awesome. Okay, great. Keeps you in the high frequency. So
Yeah.
I'll come back to you in about a week and I'll ask you, check back and tell me, are they still zero?
Okay.
All right? Because this is your evidence. This is your
Yeah.
evidence for yourself, but it's also your evidence when you talk to other people and your own clients and you want to do something, you go, I did this and I can tell you it doesn't change. Once it's gone, it's gone. Once it's transformed, it's transformed. Something else
Yeah.
might come up, but now we know how to transform it.
And I felt the energy happen and the shift happen before we even started. Like I had to run to the toilet.
Look, you all know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know as energy workers, that the field is intelligent,
Yes.
right? Everything happens like that. But if it just happened like that, we'd all go, well, what was that? Right? Our brain needs to process it. That's so much slower. So we have a process, right? Because we wouldn't really know what had changed. But you're absolutely right. Right? In any process that we do that's energetic, once we've set our intention, especially as a group, and you're powerful and you know what's going on, it starts straight away. It knows what to do.
Thank you, Jenny.
So
Thank you.
good job, Deb. Well done. Saffron Sorka, you want to share anything?
I'll just quickly say thank you heaps. That was really good. That was good. But
Was
I
it good?
have one weird thing.
Yeah.
So I'll just ask. So I had one of my second level was 7, which was the soul awareness.
Oh, yeah.
The image dropped in. I was 89, sat in a sofa, sat in like an armchair in this little cottage. I was alone but not lonely, and I chose to pass away.
Right.
What the heck?
What the heck?
Okay.
Yeah. Did that relate to, could you make any connection with?
The only thing that was, so basically my things that I was working on, there were 2 big ones that came up. So if I take action, that equals loss. So I lose a job, I lose a relationship, like it's always loss.
Right.
Yeah, which was a big one. And then the second one was the fear of not success. So I know I can do it. So I can feel an issue, but there was that resistance just holding me back. So those were the 2 main things that came.
I missed the second one because it dropped out a bit. So
fear of not succeeding. So
right.
I know I can.
Yeah.
But every time, like past experience will show that every time I do something, it's awesome. And anyone that's there goes, yeah, that's great. But that's it. Doesn't go anywhere. Right. So I think the 2 are connected because I think that there's a lot of, I've always grown up and it's just been forever. If I'm too loud, I'm always told to shush. If I'm too bright, I'm told to dull down. If I'm almost gaslit into situate, like that's not what happened. Yeah, that's what happened because their beliefs are being projected. Anyway, so
you've got those stories in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you go to a certain point, and then you hit the boundary.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
There's the boundary that goes, and then all that stuff comes in. And
That's
goes,
exactly right. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it.
So I can feel it. You can feel when I get to the fence and kind of just bounce off it. It's quite bizarre.
So how was your after? Tell me what your had it changed?
Oh yeah, so I went from 8 till the action equals loss went from 8 to 3. And then fear of not succeeding went from 8 to 2.
Perfect.
So
awesome.
But that's okay. Yeah.
So whatever you got, whatever you did, they were really spot on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even not knowing why.
Yeah.
Our brain likes to know why, but
what also came up was the crystal diamond. So whilst I did a quick look just to see what diamond was all about. Yep. So it might apply for everyone else, but it was all about self-love, joy, ascension, self-acceptance, and basically balance in physical life and spirituality. And we're on the cusp of opening a new pathway. So I thought that was quite cool. But
very cool
for everyone.
Very cool. Thank you. I'll take that.
Yep. Yeah, but the dying thing, the thing that I just got, it was all about grace, which I'm really big on. I don't have grace, very much a belief, don't have grace. So being very graceful and making the choice, like you get to choose everything, which is a mantra of mine anyway. I'm always telling clients, you get to choose, like whatever you want to do. Yeah. Yep. So I was obviously choosing. I think the message coming through though was just trust, because you can't really get it wrong. Like it's just you just keep coming back anyway, so it's not really a big deal.
Fantastic.
I don't know. That's the only thing that I can really get from that. But my guide was actually an Arcturian, so
cool.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then when they said, "What's your next step?" Eat more greens.
Yep.
I'm like,
I get that all the time.
How rude.
I get that all the time.
Yeah, to eat more greens because this makes you feel light, vibrant, and energized and motivated.
Okay, great.
So, okay, then I'll eat more greens.
Okay, great. Perfect. That's exactly, I love it. I love it.
Sense of humor like me. So it was good.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of trauma stuff came up, but like a couple of things I didn't actually remember, but the images were pretty violent, but so I don't know if that's just the energy that was portraying through a situation, or I don't think it was an actual situation, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like it's energetic.
And that's where as someone who works with energy, you understand if you need to pay attention to something, you will.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you can often get other messages as someone who's already au fait with doing this, right?
Yeah, but great process. Yeah, it was
thank you. Well done. Good job, everyone. Now I'm just going to say it's 5. Have you got 5 minutes? Who needs? Can I go another 10 minutes? If I give Sorka 5 minutes and then I'll take 5 minutes. Everyone got time? Okay. Sorka, how about you?
I'll be quick since I gave most of mine earlier, but the transformation went from a 10 down to a 4 with a bit more work to go on. But the other thing that came out was that instead of feeling, I mean, for those who don't know, I'm about to leave Scotland for good and my house for good, which I don't want to do, but circumstances are such that I have to. So around that's been a lot of grief and trauma and frustration and all of those other things. But I'm now looking at it as I'm now stepping back into Australia with a new life. I've got to look at this as being totally new life. So that's more positive energy around that rather than
that's really good.
The holding back. And
is that a shift? Is that another shift in your perception?
Yeah, it's another shift. I mean,
Fantastic.
It's along the same lines as a couple of weeks ago, but it's another shift. And one of the I had overwhelm and frustration and grief coming up and stuff. And my thing I had to do next was to take the bushflower remedy for overwhelm, which is walnut and elm, which just happened to be sitting on my desk.
I love that. That's what you want. Something that's easy to do and available. Yeah, perfect.
Yes, yes. So,
I'm really pleased. You've made some really big shifts, and I'm so pleased for you.
thank you.
You know what they say in Course in Miracles? They say definition of a miracle is a shift in perception.
Yeah.
Right? That's what a miracle is. And so for all of you, that's what you got today. Taste of a miracle. No, awesome. So I'm really pleased for all of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Soccer. And I look forward to seeing you back in Aussie soon. So from here on, what I would like you to do is track your own progress. I want you to notice what shows up for you, because remember, what's inside shows up on the outside. The world is a reflection. So you may have something happen, you may not, you may just, and it might not even be related to what you intend, but just notice, because this shift in frequency in you will show up in some way outside you as well. So just notice. And then I want you to also keep track of, over the next week, you might want to look and see, and just every now and then, or, I'm going to ask you in a week, I'm going to contact each of you, right, and ask you, how's that going? Give me an update. Because I want you to be the one who tracks this yourself, because it's really important for you to know that you've changed, that something has changed significantly and stayed that way. You might have other feelings or other new things, but are those ones still neutral or still low or going down or whatever? And what I want to let you know is that I'm going to be running later this year the first ever Quantum Freedom Formula certification. So it's practitioner training, just 6 places. There's already one person in it. One place is taken. And it's a dual thing. Not only is it transformation of you, because once again, we will be going through the process with you, for you. And I'll be looking at it from even more in-depth practitioner perspective, so that, because I know that you already have skills. I know that you're already trained, right? And they're the things I need you to use or in this process, because we can make it look easy. Particularly the first part of it is often can take quite a long time with with clients, right? So I want to give you because my background is that's the kind of thing I taught for many years to practitioners, is what kind of questions to ask so that you can get the information. Because usually people go all over the place. You don't, because you've done this sort of thing before. People often go all over the place and talk about different things, and all you're trying to do is get the emotion and the thoughts, right? So I'll be giving you my experience. I'll be also showing you other things that integrate. I'll be showing you how to integrate what you already know. If you have kinesiology, how I might use that with it, or how you would use it yourself, integrate it into what you do, so you have an opportunity to do that. So I'll be delivering the formula, looking at troubleshooting, and we'll be also doing practice with each other, so that you actually have some session time and Q&A and that kind of thing, looking at integration and looking at using yourself as the guinea pig, again, through the whole leadership, eyes of leadership, whatever it is you're wanting to create, whatever the next step is. Whether it's income, whether it's clients, whether it's just more visibility, whether it's confidence. And it's going to be about capacity, a lot of and identity. A lot of those things often come up as we move forward as leaders. And I know that in some way all of you are stepping into, like, you're being called to go bigger. I know this, right? You know that there's some aspect of you going, you need to shine more brightly, you need to step up, you need to be seen. Maybe it's something new that you're going to put out there or whatever it is. So it'll be taking you through that process and continuing that evolvement of your intuitive abilities, integrated in with whatever you still already do. 'Cause, 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 But for now, what I'm going to do now is just tell you about it. I'm going to run one more workshop, which you'd be welcome to come to if you want. If you decide you want to do practitioner training, you can come for free. But I'm not going to ask you to sign up or do anything right now. I'm going to talk to you in another week when you've had a chance to actually test this yourself, process it. I can give you some more information then, or you can get in touch with me if you want to talk to me about it sooner. So for now, just observe, notice, and record your own experience. You will get the replay. If you want to run it again and do it yourself, you can. All right. So, and I've already given you some insight, so you kind of understand what's behind this. It's simple, but it isn't always easy, right? That's the thing. The delivery of it and working with someone, understanding more about the levels, people who want to ask about that. What happens when, they have the same as you, like they have experience, what questions do you ask when you're helping someone to actually get the nugget of what that's really about, to open it fully, all right? Those kind of things. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and participating. And if you know anyone who you think might benefit from the next one, I think the next one's going to be, maybe it's like going to be on capacity. It's about receiving, the capacity to receive. So that's very often a challenge in those of us who are givers. So I'll keep in touch with you about that. But in the meantime, thank you for being here, and I'll be in touch with you in about a week.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Jen.
Awesome.
Okay.
Bye.
So glad you enjoyed it.
See you
I had
all.
fun too.
Bye.
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 Bye.